Hello everyone, welcome to Internet Student House, Washington DC. And we are thrilled to give you a special tour. My name is Jack Lee, I'm from Lanzhou, China. I came to this house since 2019. And we, scholars all over the world, share, dine, and play together at this house. And we established a true family as we are one. So, now it is my pleasure and my honor to introduce my housemates, and they will lead you to the house to have a look.
Hello everyone, my name is Varsha and I'm from Pakistan. I first moved to the house in 2018 while completing my graduate studies at Georgetown University. I am currently a Hillary Rodham Clinton Research Fellow at the Georgetown Institute for Women, Peace and Security. Over the years, I have made many incredible friends here at the house who have gone on to become diplomats, entrepreneurs, and just leaders in their respective fields. Some of the residents here are genuinely my best friends, and it's just so incredible to be able to encourage them, to be able to celebrate their achievements, just as they celebrate mine. That said, the first step at the International Student House before we begin all our exciting new careers is here at the foyer, through which we get the first glimpse of our new home. This is our dining hall where we share meals every day. This room is normally full of all the resident scholars, eating, studying, chatting about the world, discussing things ranging from various government activities around the world to making plans to explore DC on the weekends. Thank you for being with us, and now I'd like to introduce you to my friend Françoise.
Hello, my name is Françoise Nakirutimana, and I am from Rwanda. I moved to Washington, D.C. in 2018 to pursue my studies at George Washington University in International Trade and Investments Policy. This is our main building at the International Student House, and the second floor is where we spend most of our time studying and working. Follow me and let me show you around. This is the second floor of our main building, and in this foyer we actually do a lot of studying and working. To my right is the door to our great hall, which we use for dialogues on topics ranging from international trade, economics, politics, and foreign service. In this room we also host receptions and dinners, and on most days we use it as our living room.
Hi, my name is Rempi Kalia, and I'm from the United States. I am a graduate student at American University studying computer science. Welcome to the library. Here you will find books left from many residents from around the world. This is also the television room where we watch things such as the World Cup and anything significant happening around the world we tend to celebrate in here. In the next room you will find the study room, which a lot of students spend their time in. Enjoy.
Welcome to Educator Hall. It's quite a unique time to move to Washington, D.C. to pursue my academic goals. But a housemate and I continue to support and encourage each other during this time. Thank you for joining us. So, scholars all over the world, we continue to call Internet Student House our home for decades to come.
Good evening. Welcome to the International Student House's Global Leadership Awards event. Taiga, Varsha, Françoise, and Rempi, whom you just saw in the video, and others just as remarkable, have been with us throughout this pandemic year. They truly inspire all those who meet them. I'm Eric Melby, President of the Board of Directors of the International Student House in Washington, D.C. The house was founded in 1936 to provide housing for students of color in a time when such facilities in the nation's capital were segregated. The founders had the strong conviction that bringing together young people from around the world under one roof would contribute to international peace and understanding. A conviction as relevant and important today as it was then. During the past 85 years, we have welcomed over 15,000 foreign and American graduate and postgraduate students from nearly 140 countries. In this house, lasting relationships are formed as young leaders from around the world learn from their peers from different countries, cultures, and backgrounds. In this house, students become global citizens through conversations around the breakfast and dinner table, while studying in the Great Hall, while living together, while playing together. The experiences that take place at this house truly are transformational. It is a privilege to welcome all of you tonight, our supporters and sponsors, alumni and friends, as we recognize your role in ensuring that these young leaders can thrive in our great city. Together, we have the privilege of helping them grow into global leaders as they pursue their studies at area universities. Every year, we recognize champions and advocates of international exchanges. This year, it is our privilege to honor Congressman Beyer and Megan Beyer and Robert J. Abernethy. Because of their support of international education, scholars like those you saw on the video can gather and find common ground. The commitment of our honorees helps ensure that the House endures as a unique home for international scholars. On behalf of the board of the International Student House and of its remarkable staff, led by Executive Director Daniel Bremer-Vertig, I thank our donors, sponsors, and friends for supporting this remarkable place, and to recognize the outstanding achievements of our honorees and residents. I hope you will continue to help the House fulfill its mission, one that is more important than ever. As we begin this evening's program, I ask that you raise your glass in a toast to our honorees, to our supporters, alumni, and residents from around the world. Cheers. Now I invite you to enjoy a performance by International Student House alumnus Rostam Assadi in the Great Hall. Thank you.
Thank you, Rostam. What a beautiful performance. Not only are our residents high academic achievers, but also accomplished musicians and artists. Later this evening, we will be treated to a special performance by International House alumnus Catalin Dima from Romania. My name is Lisa Berry, a proud member of the Board of Directors of International Student House of Washington, D.C. My husband Jim and I are honored to co-chair the Global Leadership Awards with our fellow board member Janet Blanchard and her husband Governor Jim Blanchard. We were also thrilled to have so many dear friends and supporters with us in this room tonight. I want to thank you for your patience as we've been working through some technical issues. We hope you'll continue to stay with us. We've got a very exciting program ahead of us. It is important to us that we bring together our community here at the House to honor, celebrate, and share. It takes all of us to build this incredible opportunity for our students, because as internationally minded leaders and professionals, we know how important they are to our future.
Thank you, Lisa. When anything happens, we always blame it on the pandemic this year. So we're so happy you're hanging in here with us. We're on a roll now. So thank you, Lisa and Jim, and I are honored to co-chair tonight's awards gala with you and Jim. As we mentioned, our resident scholars participate in many exciting endeavors while in Washington, particularly unique experiences. We are pleased to acknowledge are the many residents at the House who intern at respective embassies. It is a joy learning of their excitement and hearing about the day-to-day activities they engage in with the diplomatic community. We are immensely proud to have your future diplomats at the House. Our diplomatic friends also host our residents for conversations over coffee and receptions. You share about your work as diplomats representing your countries, and you make them feel special in a way so very unique to Washington. Your invitations are undoubtedly a highlight of the Washington experience for them. With that note, I am pleased to introduce our diplomatic chairs for the Global Leadership Awards. His Excellency Domingos Vital, Ambassador of Portugal to the United States, and his wife, Isabel Vital, who have been dear friends to our resident scholars for years. Mr. Ambassador, Mrs. Vital, I am delighted to hand the floor to you. Thank you for everything you've done for us.
Thank you very much. It's not very easy to speak after such an outstanding performance. Thank you very much, Rostam, for a wonderful moment. Dear Lisa Berry, James Gale, Janet Blanchard, and Governor Jim Blanchard, our wonderful Global Leadership Awards co-chairs. Dear Eric Melby, in you we thank and pay tribute to all those who are the soul of the International Student House and made this evening possible, braving the difficulties of these challenging times. Dear friends, to be diplomatic chairs of this year's Global Leadership Awards and to share this evening with you and all those to be awarded is an immense honor for Isabel and I. The International Student House has always been very close to our hearts. This is a place where we've met some of the best friends we've made in DC, and also some less well-known persons, such as a certain Honorable Joe Biden. We come from a country where we welcome friends with a sentence: my home is your home. We come from a continent whose integration process that led us to what is nowadays the European Union, whose presidency Portugal currently holds, is determined by a motto: united in diversity. So it shouldn't surprise anyone that we feel so much at home at the International Student House. The International Student House was born in 1936, the same year America re-elected Franklin D. Roosevelt as president. The man who once said, "We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth a future. That was another way of stating what International Student House mission stood for since its inception, what makes it so special, to build our youth a better future through intercultural exchange. Intercultural exchange means being open to what the other has to offer, means to understand better the world we live in, and that is the best recipe for a successful future. Portugal was the first neutral country to recognize the independence of the United States. We are neighbors who share an ocean. We are allies who share the same values. Our relationship started on a very good note, with a toast in 1776 to the newborn country by the founding fathers with Portuguese wine, Madeira wine. We like to believe, by the way, that Johnson had Portuguese wine in mind when he suggested to add the pursuit of happiness to the rights every American should be entitled to. Today, here and at home, you have a bottle of another Portuguese wine, Dona Maria Amantis 2016, a blend of different varieties. Portugal is the wine producer with more local varieties in the world, more than 250. That's why a Portuguese wine is usually a blend, a hymn to the virtues of diversity. That explains why Franklin D. Roosevelt once said, "There is no better way to toast any intercultural reality, be it a country like the US or an institution as the International Student House, than with a Portuguese wine." Isabel is telling me that Twitter has just sent a message saying that some or all of this content is disputed. I'm sorry. How unfair. Well, I'm sure that you will all agree with me that if Roosevelt didn't say it, it was only because nobody asked him the question. It doesn't make it less true, does it? So I invite you all to join Isabel and I and raise your glass of intercultural Dona Maria Amantis 2016 in a toast to what will forever make the International Student House a very special place for us, its mission and those who make it their own. You all. Cheers.
Thank you, Ambassador and Mrs. Vital. Oh, that was just wonderful. We love having you with us, and thank you for such kind remarks. I'm now pleased to hand the floor to our corporate chair for the evening, Lorraine Hawley, who has been instrumental in helping us raise the funds we need to ensure a bright future for our students. While Lorraine has been leading the charge, it is also all of you who helped us exceed our goal of over $200,000 for our awards gala tonight. It's the most we've ever raised. You helped us in a year when we needed you more than ever due to compromised international exchange. Thank you. Lorraine, the floor is yours.
Good evening. I'm Lorraine Hawley with ADM, and it has been my honor to serve on the board of the International Student House and as chair of the Development Committee. It's a true pleasure to be here tonight with our distinguished guests, members of the International Student House Board, our supporters and sponsors, alumni and friends, as we celebrate the International Student House and the benefits of international education and exchange. It is a true privilege to be supporters of these talented students from all over the world as they take advantage of our universities here in Washington, D.C., or launch new careers that position them to become leaders in government, the private sector, and the NGO community. I also have to take this opportunity to thank our honorees, Congressman Don Beyer and Megan Beyer, and Robert J. Abernethy. It is because of their support and the support of others who value and promote international education that our International Student House can exist and thrive. Tonight is really a celebration of all of you who help us to continue to meet the mission of the House. We are so very grateful for your support tonight and in the future. The mission of the International Student House and its purpose of promoting international education and exchange is something that I feel passionately about. I've had the opportunity to observe the interconnection between international education and economic progress, both in my role working for multinational corporations, which draw from a global talent pool, and through my experience studying at Oxford University's Jesus College, which I had the opportunity to do through the University of Georgia's UGA at Oxford program. In my professional life, I work with colleagues around the world and can see on a daily basis how important it is in our ability to draw from global talent and expertise. Exposure to other cultures, educational, and professional experiences makes us stronger and more competitive. Global companies leverage the opportunity to recruit and hire talented people in countries around the world. ADM partners with foreign universities to offer internships and to recruit and retain employees that can make important contributions to our fundamental goal of providing access to nutrition worldwide. Personally, my experience studying at Oxford exposed me to new thinking and talented professors and students who challenged me and encouraged me to consider new opportunities as a student and later as a young professional. Studying international politics at Oxford also inspired me to pursue a career in government relations and gave me an appreciation for the important role that international education plays in enhancing cultural understanding, improving economic competitiveness, and enhancing diplomacy. So tonight, we celebrate together and reflect on the incredible and invaluable role that international education plays in each of our lives as global citizens. I sincerely thank each and every one of you for your support and your partnership. It is because of you that our students thrive and that the purpose and the mission of the House sustains in perpetuity. Now it's my great pleasure to turn back to Governor Jim Blanchard to continue the program. I hope you all enjoy the rest of the evening. Governor Blanchard, over to you.
And thank you, Lorraine. And this is great wine, Mr. Ambassador. You know, tonight we're gathered here to recognize leaders who champion international exchange, and our honorees this evening could not be more worthy. They've had a lifetime of commitments to robust international education and exchange, and they help promote peace and understanding. My friend Don Beyer, Congressman Don Beyer, is one of the most gifted public servants of our time. Successful businessman, a civic activist for decades, Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, Ambassador to Switzerland, and now a leading member of Congress from Northern Virginia. Don Beyer energizes everything he touches. Don's a leader on climate change, science and technology advancement, international trade, nuclear disarmament, and high school dropout prevention. You name something important, and Don has probably passionately pursued it or is still pursuing it. He's received many, many, many awards, too numerous to list, but two caught my attention. In 2013, Don received the Thomas Jefferson Award from American Citizens Abroad, and that was for outstanding service to Americans overseas. Don organized a series of town meetings where American citizens overseas could voice concerns and opinions to the officials of our State Department, which of course helped foster international understanding. The other honor intrigued me too, which was way back in 1968, Don Beyer was a presidential scholar. I think that selections committee knew what they were doing. Everybody wants Don Beyer on their team, by the way, and we're proud he's on our team. Then there's the word energy, and then there's the word high energy. Megan Beyer is the definition of high energy. She's a journalist, an activist, a lifelong advocate for women's rights. She currently serves as an advisor to a range of arts and civics organizations. She's been an education reporter and a television commentator on PBS. In Switzerland, she was a regular contributor to local newspapers. In 2010, she founded a Swiss-US project called Sisters Republic, accelerating private market drivers to break the glass ceiling. Most notably in 2015, Megan Beyer was appointed by President Barack Obama as director of the President's Committee on the Arts and Humanities. Among her many activities in that capacity, interestingly enough, is she led the first official U.S. cultural delegation to Cuba. It was a smashing success. Megan has served as the chair of the Women's Leadership Forum of the Democratic National Committee, and she's led numerous other organizations over the years. Megan currently is a trustee of the Meridian International Center. We know it as the leading public diplomacy center in Washington, D.C. Megan, we thank you for your outstanding leadership in helping build a better world. Thanks. Thank you again.
Now, it's our tradition that resident scholars and alumni present the awards to the honorees. Earlier, you met a handful of these exceptional young women and men. These students will become diplomats, nonprofit, and private sector leaders and global citizens like their predecessors. So I'm pleased to hand the floor to Laura Hoogenraad, who arrived at the House from the Netherlands in January. Laura, it's your turn.
Good evening, my name is Laura. I'm extremely happy to be here tonight, not only because I'm honored to take part in the Global Leadership Awards, but also because of my long pursuit in the last year to get here, to arrive at the International Student House in DC. I'm from the Netherlands, where I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in international relations. Part of my curriculum is to get credits for work experience. In the fall of 2019, I found my dream internship as a junior producer at the Washington Bureau of NOS, the national Dutch news broadcaster. We report on major US politics for the major radio stations, TV broadcasts, and online news outlets in the Netherlands. I was originally supposed to start my internship in May of 2020, but everything changed when travel bans were introduced, followed by visa bans on exchange students. My whole plan crashed. I'm incredibly grateful to the House for being extremely helpful and flexible throughout my efforts to get here, when I yet again had to postpone my date of arrival. After multiple failed visa attempts throughout the year, the US Consulate of Amsterdam finally approved my visa, which I received on Christmas Eve. Easily the best Christmas present I could have ever asked for. Roughly a week later, I arrived in DC. Throughout the year, I was sad that I wasn't here to report on the primaries or the election. It was frustrating to not be able to report on these historical events. Let's just say my internship has been anything but uneventful thus far. My first 3 weeks on the job were the insurrection of the Capitol, the impeachment, and the inauguration. The first 15 minutes of my internship were used to discuss bulletproof vests and personal guards, because journalists were now labeled as soft targets. For me, it has been extremely bizarre, but an incredibly formative experience. Safe to say that I've been working a lot this last month. It has been absolutely amazing that when I'm done at whatever time in the evening, I don't come home to a cold and dark apartment, but I'm greeted by this amazing historical building, a warm plate of food, and most importantly, the lovely and interesting people who are living here. International Student House believes strongly that by bringing bright young professionals together from all around the world, we can share our experiences, learn from each other, and work towards a better future. That said, we have to be able to come together, and we need leaders to ensure exchange can happen, to ensure we can gather safely, be a part of each other's lives, and become better global citizens. The House believes it is important to recognize such leaders for your humbling, priceless service. As Governor Blanchard and Janet Blanchard shared, Congressman Beyer and Megan Beyer are indeed more than worthy of such a modest honor from us. And it is with my greatest enthusiasm that I present our Global Leadership Award to them tonight. Congressman Beyer, Megan Beyer, thank you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jim and Janet. We're thrilled to be part of anything that you're part of, and International House especially. Thank you for all of your years of service and leadership to America and the world.
And thank you, Laura. You know, your generation is famous for not wanting to talk on the phone, much less relocating to experience a new culture. You have stayed home and Googled, you could have stayed home and Googled us, but instead you had the curiosity and the tenacity to make the Herculean health crisis magnitude effort to uproot your life and experience something new and enriching, meet the wide and varied spectrum of Americans, face new challenges, and learn so much more than any algorithm could render. I did an exchange program to Salamanca, Spain in my first year of college in 1976. In 3 short months, I had a surprising facility with dance club Spanish and understood what life was like under Franco and talked to the students about what they hoped would come with Juan Carlos. But mostly, you know, it was empathy. I developed a feeling of solidarity with all of Spanish culture, the dancing, the music, the sense of humor. I carried this with me my entire life. In fact, we took our children for a month to Spain to learn Spanish and share with them the joy of the Spanish culture. Those 3 short months planted the seeds of kinship and a thirst for learning more about people inhabiting the globe. At the advent of any technological breakthrough, from the printing press to even the atomic bomb, there's always this impetus to try to see the technology as a peacemaker, see the peace-sustaining possibilities. Zooming and sharing social media campaigns with people halfway across the globe would seem an unquestionable advance for harmony and mutual understanding. But we have already seen how false narratives and strategic social media campaigns can undermine institutions of democracy and influence a corrosive populism. So thank you, International House, for your old school mano-a-mano exchanges, offering today's generation the visceral human experience, planting those seeds of solidarity, ensuring a strong foundation of global humanity.
Megan, thank you very much. My greatest influence was my grandmother, who in her 98 years visited more than 100 countries while she had 50 years at the Department of Labor and USAID. And she believed that the more you saw how other people lived, what they ate, where they slept, what they read, how they spent their leisure time, all the aspects of culture and economy, that those were the experiences that made us wise. I was born in Trieste, in the Free Territory of Trieste. And my first language, such as it was Italian. But even though I was a baby, my parents' 4 years there deeply influenced their perspectives on the world, their friendships, and even their openness to life. And languages. My mother would always discipline us in Italian. Megan's Spanish is wonderful, fluent. And our youngest child spent 2 of her teenage summers at the embassy in Switzerland in the visa section, greeting the 100+ people we had every day in their native language, French, German, Italian, English. She never did master Romansh. But here's the simple idea. Nothing interesting happens inside our comfort zone. When we stay nestled in there, learning nothing, never challenging our beliefs, limiting our exposure to new ideas, well then all of a sudden a space laser is setting fire to California and actors are pretending to be school shooting fatalities. When we lived overseas and began to build constructive relationships with the Swiss, we discovered that almost all of them had studied in the US. Most of them turned out to have been the stars of their US high school soccer team. And when we met Swiss business women, almost everyone had worked in the business sector in the American business world. It's in the very best interest of world peace to bring as many international students to America as possible and to send as many of our kids and young adults overseas. Yep, the world is getting smaller every day and more dangerous. We have ugly nationalism ascendant, xenophobia and hatred of immigrants are sadly abundant, and yet our core challenges don't recognize borders: COVID-19, climate change, the disappearance of our wildlife populations, and much, much more. So thank you, International Student House, for opening up the mind and spirit of our world one student at a time. I can't do the history off the top of my head, but not too long ago, we could recite a long list of world leaders who had spent some time studying and living abroad. Your work is making our planet safer, smarter, better. You're an essential player in healing the world. Here's a simple thought experiment. Imagine if every American child could spend 1 year in a different country, learning language, custom, diet, and romance. And children from all over the globe spending 12 months in some other country, including ours. I'm certain our politics would be much different, our values would be much more human, and the life of the mind would thrive.
Thank you so much for this honor.
Thank you, International Student House.
My name is Roy Randen, and it is an honor to be here at my first Global Leadership Awards. It has been a little over 6 years since I first arrived in these United States from my home country, Zimbabwe, where I was born and raised. Zimbabwe, for those who might not know, is actually very much like the United States. Everyone loves Disney and Marvel, too many people are on Facebook and Twitter, and our elections can be just as contentious as yours. We are gathered here to celebrate good leadership, that most sought after but often underappreciated quality. I have the great privilege of presenting this award to Mr. Abernethy, Chairman of the American Standard Development Company. As a recipient of the Robert J. Abernethy Scholarship Award here at the International Student House, I am a living testament to both Mr. Abernethy's incredible generosity and his commitment to promoting international dialogue. In addition to his work with the House, Mr. Abernethy is a member of the Chairman's Forum of the Council on Foreign Relations, the State Department Advisory Committee on International Economic Policy, and serves on the boards of the International Refugee Assistance Project, the Meridian International Center, and the Brookings Institution. Now, I could list a litany of other initiatives and organizations that Mr. Abernethy is involved in, but unlike him, I am constrained by the number of hours in a day. Both for myself and for many others before me, Mr. Abernethy has helped make the experience of living at the International Student House a reality. And what an incredible experience it is. I am currently pursuing my Master's in International Economics and Finance at Johns Hopkins SAIS, and like many other international students across the globe, the COVID-19 pandemic has necessitated that I take my classes online. However, unlike many other students, I have the good fortune of living at this house in DuPont Circle, where it is possible for me to safely cohabit with peers from countries as far-flung as the Netherlands, Rwanda, Greece, Egypt, Italy, Pakistan, Peru, and South Sudan. Again, I could go on and on. In my native language, Ndebele, we have a proverb that goes, "Isisu somhambi singangophonjwana lwembuzi," which loosely translates in English as a call to be welcoming to travelers and guests. Mr. Abernethy, through his support of dozens of scholars studying at SAIS and who are and have lived at the house, and his support of other internationally oriented initiatives, embodies this ethos. He established the Abernethy Residential Scholarship Program for SAIS students living at International Student House. In doing so, he created ties between two world-class institutions that share the same goal: to develop the next generation of global citizens and world leaders. To Mr. Abernethy, on behalf of everyone here at the International Student House and all the students you've impacted, I say thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Mr. Robert J. Abernethy, this year's recipient of the Global Educator Award.
Thank you very much, Roy, for your kind words. And also thank you, John and Patty Garamendi, for your kind words. We've enjoyed many years of fun together. And I also want to express my appreciation to all of us, to all of you who have contributed so much over the years to this fine house. The International Student House of Washington has long been facilitating international cooperation by providing assistance to students serious in their pursuits of bringing nations together. The idea for the International Student House began in 1934 when a group of Quakers explored how they might make a contribution to peace and a better understanding amongst people of diverse national backgrounds. This was the era of Hitler, Stalin, Franco, Mussolini, damaging democracy across Europe, whilst the Imperial Japanese Army led its occupation of China. It was the belief of these original Quakers that to sow the seeds of peace and equality for the future, they must begin with the young adults who were going to lead it. Subsequently, the House was officially established in 1936. Over the past 85 years, the International Student House has expanded its capacity to accommodate 93 scholars in non-COVID times, up from the original 18. And throughout these years, this wonderful organization has supported nearly 15,000 young adults from over 140 countries. Not too far away, another organization with a similar philosophy blossomed. In 1942, Paul Nitze and Christian Herder founded the School of Advanced International Studies. It sought to prepare men and women to cope with the international responsibilities that would be thrust upon the United States in the post-World War II era. Nitze feared the diplomatic and economic expertise developed in World War II might get lost if the nation became isolationist. Originally founded as a standalone graduate school, it became part of the Johns Hopkins University in 1950. That education, combined with skills training and experiential learning, would prepare students for impact-oriented work in policy and other sectors. In 1955, a campus in Bologna, Italy was established. In 1986, the school initiated one of the first Western university programs in the People's Republic of China in Nanjing. Today, guided by the vision of its founders, the school's cadre of expert faculty prepare students for exciting careers across sectors and around the world. SAIS has had and continues to have a very close tie to the House. Paul Nitze wasn't the only political figure wary of isolationism. At the end of the Second World War, the top leaders of the world, such as Winston Churchill, Charles de Gaulle, Franklin Roosevelt, and Dwight Eisenhower, echoed similar sentiments. They believed that the best way to prevent World War III was to integrate the politics and economics of the leading countries of the world. Out of that came the European Coal and Steel Community and the Bretton Woods Agreement, which produced the International Monetary Fund and the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, which grew into the World Bank. Also created were the Marshall Plan, NATO, United Nations, the World Health Organization, and many other international organizations. The House and SAIS have for a long time operated very effectively in furthering their missions of educating young adults to promote international well-being and to contribute to the many organizations that I've just mentioned. As a longtime supporter of both SAIS and the House, I'm very pleased to see their fruitful collaboration. Through education and cooperation, we all will bring about a more peaceful world. The joint efforts between the organizations have produced many wonderful scholars. To name a few, Raphael Guidman Nikolov received his master's in international relations and diplomacy in the spring of 2014. Raphael has spent the past 6 years working for the UN's food program in Italy. Spencer Saliber graduated in 2017 with a master's in international development and economics. She was a Pickering Fellow for the U.S. Embassy in Barbados, and now is a Latin American researcher for TD International. Georgia Milosevic, who graduated in 2016 with a master's in strategic studies, is now a foreign policy advisor to the Prime Minister of Serbia. Jawa Lee received a master's in emerging markets and finance. He has since worked for Moody's, the Inter-American Development Bank, the United Nations Office for Project Services, and is now with the International Monetary Fund. And last, but certainly not least, Roy Randen, who has already impacted me today with his kind introduction, is set to launch a wonderful career. The House and SAIS are creating the future leaders that will continue to staff international organizations. A great man who, like our students, dedicated his life to international relations is the late Brent Scowcroft. Spending many years working on national security, he and Eric Melby founded the Scowcroft Group. With their enormous wealth of knowledge, they have created one of the leading international business advisory firms. We're lucky and fortunate to have Dr. Melby leading, guiding, and inspiring us at the House. I'd like to thank Eric for his service as our president. I've had great pleasure serving with him on the boards of the Atlantic Council and SAIS. Dr. Melby, like many of our scholars, was a student at SAIS, receiving both master's and doctoral degrees. He understands the value that this education holds and the role of the House plays in the future of so many talented young people. I'm very happy and excited about our country's strengthening and reestablishing participation in the world order in times of COVID, economic, and climate crisis. Thank you very much for this honor. Thank you, Roy, for your remarks. Thank all of you for the wonderful support that you have given, are giving, and I'm sure will continue to give to the House and its mission. God bless, Godspeed, keep healthy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abernethy, for your long service and your continued support to the ISH as well as SAIS, both of which I consider my communities. My name is Akoi. I come from South Sudan. I came to the House in 2007 to 2010. It is a great honor to be back in a place that I consider my home. Being far away from home can be quite challenging, but those who were honored and had the fortune of staying here, ISH is not only a home, but it's a place where, in my opinion, where individuals actually uplift their aspiration. One might come from different part of the world, thinking that he or she is doing great thing, only to find at the dining hall or in our library here that others actually are equally doing amazing thing. So the place become an area where we motivate one another. So it becomes a source of motivation where you feel like you are challenged by your colleagues, but in a very good way, and you feel like you really want to do more than what you originally thought you were doing. So this place is that place where we uplift each other's aspiration. The second thing that I can say about the place is that it provides an infrastructure for global network, something that would otherwise be difficult. So to think about any continent, you would imagine that there is an alumni from this house, whether you're looking at Australia or Asia, or you're looking at Africa or Europe, Caribbean, Latin America, or Central America. So one who has the portion of being here would find a place and a friend across the globe, including North America. So it's a great honor for me to come here to share briefly with you what I consider truly a place and a home for me. It is my sincere hope that the alumni, wherever you are around the world, that you continue to think about this wonderful place and also support this place to continue to be home to those who come from far places. Without further ado, I would like to really iterate that it's such a honor, it's such a great honor to be back in this place, and I'm really very happy and to see that the place is still operating and is still functioning even during the pandemic. So this place it reminds us of true friends that we have met. We have friends that become part of our life. Others have found actually their spouses here, and others actually have friends that are long-term friends. So I like this place, and I really truly thank the board, and I thank the ISH management, especially Daniel, Jill, Katie, and their team, as well as Eric and the entire board. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Abernethy. Thank you so much for your thoughtful remarks. I have learned so much from you tonight. We appreciate so much your continuing support. It's so important to us and important to the residents in our house. And Abraham, we are indebted to you for your thoughtful remarks tonight. Thank you. And we are also indebted to you for your significant support of our scholarship initiative, Mr. Abernethy, over the years, and grateful that you have allowed us to honor you tonight. Thank you. We are also fortunate to have such a distinguished alumnus of Abraham, now a member of our board of directors, and we're very happy about that. Our alumni around the world, just like Abraham, are a testament to the meaningful and impactful time the International Student House is to their lives. James?
Handing it back to me, my job is to thank all of you for celebrating with us, celebrating our students, our supporters, our public servants who care deeply about international understanding, and turn the floor back over to Jim Gale. Thanks again.
Thank you, Jim. As we close this evening, I'm pleased to introduce an exceptional International House alumnus, Catalin Dima, from Romania, who last performed here in the House in 2017 to a full guest hall. And we look forward to having Catalin perform here again and inviting all of you to join us. Until then, please meet Catalin and enjoy his incredible performance.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Catalin Dima, and I am a Romanian pianist and a piano teacher here at Southeastern Oklahoma State University. I am also an International House alumni. I have so many beautiful memories and so many stories that it could take me probably hours to just name a few. But nevertheless, all these experiences taught me a great deal in my life, and they still guide me through every day. I am so honored to be a part of this year's Global Leadership Awards. And because I can't be there in person, I would like to offer you a couple of musical gifts. I played in 2018 at ISH in Washington, D.C., and I remember the feeling of just going back home. Every time, whenever I think of iHouse, I have that feeling. So it was such a great pleasure to perform, and I can't wait to perform there again very soon. iHouse offered me so much, and I could name a lot of big terms such as culture, wisdom, and friends. But probably the biggest is love. And I say that because the best memory I have is meeting my wife, who was also an international iHouse resident. So I would like to play two musical pieces for you tonight. And these are very short jewels written by Frédéric Chopin. They are titled Preludes. So I hope you will enjoy them.
Thank you, Caitlin. I know you're watching this right now, and I have to say, you are immensely gifted. And I cannot wait until you can join us in person again for a concert in our great hall. My name is Daniel Bremer, and I have the immense privilege of serving as the executive director here at International Student House of Washington, D.C. As we come to an end of the program, I am overwhelmed with gratitude for everyone of you here with us. Our generous sponsors who ensure we continue to be a home in Washington for students and young professionals from around the world. The diplomatic community who so kindly welcome our residents and scholars into your homes. And our advocates and our friends, our board of directors, who without them, we literally would not be here. Their dedication to our mission is truly above and beyond. And our resident scholars and alumni, who are the heart and soul of this incredible place. As I near my first year anniversary leading this great organization, I am confident and our future is bright because of your unwavering and continued commitment to our community and the mission of the House. To be a home to a highly diverse international community of graduate students, interns, visiting scholars from around the world that foster dialogue, lifelong connections, and where our resident scholars become global citizens. Thank you for being part of our community. My very best to each of you, and good night, and thank you so much for joining us. This concludes our program.